Welcome back to complete our discussion talking about business and financial health. Joining me again is Robbie Brady. She's Executive Business Consultant with Storehouse Financial, and Ann Lewis, who's with Davis Life Brokerage, a life account executive. Let's jump in, time's never, my friend. Now, in this last segment, I want to focus on existing businesses, but before we get to some of the other sort of nuances, a lot of the information that we've talked about in terms of who's going to take over the business and the business will and some of those things, do these apply to existing businesses equally?
Yeah. Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely, and Ann can expound on this, but it's one. In fact, it's probably one of the most critical things because they've jumped into business. Maybe they've been rolling along for several years, doing real well, but they're so busy running day-to-day activities of that business that there's a lot of holes, a lot of things that have been left undone, oversights, things like that, and that's what Storehouse then can help them with us on that.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Now, with that existing business, like you said, they've been rolling along and they've been doing really good, but then they're starting to hit some potholes, or maybe they just need to reevaluate. Tell me, Ann, what kinds of things do they need to make sure that they're going to look at?
One of the questions I'm asked is, can I deduct the premiums on my life insurance?
Oh,
and
okay.
What happens if I do? Well, I go into that. If you deduct the premiums, then the death benefit's fully taxable to you as income. So our job is to make sure everything's set up properly, even if we have things in place that from a tax standpoint that we do it right. Another thing is how can we use corporate dollars to fund our personal life insurance? We have techniques to do that. We have ways in which we can fund actually a state liquidity plan from business dollars. So there's a lot of advanced techniques to use with businesses so we can take care of their personal insurance as well as their business.
Okay.
And it's cost effective for them because most of the time the business is the revenue making machine. It isn't their personal. And so we work with them and sit down and do a plan. Covers estate liquidity, it covers business liquidity, covers key man, covers personal, and we can do a whole plan for them.
Okay, now in terms of those existing businesses, especially if they have even one employee or other employees, what kinds of things do they need to consider in terms of that employee financial health in relation to the business? Are there certain things they need to be aware of there so they continue to grow?
We can show them how to value a key employee. What does that key employee bring to the business? What would be the loss to the business if that key employee died? And then we fund it properly so that if that key employee left the business or if he died, they would have the money to find somebody similar.
Okay.
And that's just keeping the business solid. There's a lot of businesses that wouldn't operate without that key person that's out there every day on the front line.
Okay.
And the business owner may be in the background. Maybe that key employee is the business.
Now, how do you look at, especially for existing businesses, sometimes people will say, well, they just grew too fast or they expanded themselves too much and just went out of business. I mean, how do you help them, or do you, with Storehouse Financial or with Davis Life in terms of how you co-work here, with understanding how rapid you should grow, or is it time to open up another office someplace or another location? Do you help with that?
Certainly we can get into a lot of those discussions because they come up in the planning process. And like I said, no matter what stage the business is, and it could be a law firm, it could be a medical practice, I mean it can be about any kind of business that we can work with. And they can actually come in, and if they want to grow, we can see are they at the right point financially that they can handle this. If they've grown too fast, are there ways then to pull that back and adjust? But a lot of it, it's all in the planning process and all in a funding process. And yes, we help with all of that.
Okay.
Well, a lot of businesses are unique to what they do. Let's take a doctor in a practice. He might have maxed his 401k, his pension, everything. We can set up a private pension for him through charitable giving, and he can have that pension for the rest of his life. And then when he's done with it, the balance goes to charity. He gets a current tax write-off. So there's kind of some of the plans that we put together. Unique to a practice of a doctor. Maybe it's unique to somebody who sells tires, or, I mean, we design it around the business owner and their personal needs.
Okay, and so this is like different kinds of retirement options to help fund it. I mean, in our normal way, we think about, whether our employer has a retirement fund and do we contribute or whatever. But you're also going to help that business owner understand how to take care of themselves as well as the other employees and still keep the business healthy.
Absolutely. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. And what we try to do is help the business owner keep more of what they make.
Okay, okay. That's excellent because that's a different concept.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's a concept of planning. In other words, I can tell you this, that what we do at Storehouse Financial and Davis Life, no plan is ever exactly alike. It's uniquely designed around the business owner and their needs. And I think we do a great service to the individual and to the business.
Now, let me ask this really quickly in our last few seconds here. For existing businesses, is there sort of a routine time in which they should come in and have sort of a retooling of their business plan?
Every 3 years for sure.
Every 3 years for sure. They should come in and have that
Absolutely.
reevaluated no matter how great things are going.
That's right.
Every year if they can, every 3 years a must.
Okay, so it's like a yearly checkup then.
It is.
They should
Absolutely.
kind
It
of
is.
look at it that way.
It's just exactly like that.
Okay, okay.
And that's why I said once we connect, we plan to be with them and work with them for life to help them through all of this, and so that way we're always on top of things.
Okay, now let me ask this other quick question. Let's say as the marketplace changes or rules or concepts begin to change, are you going to then access your business clientele to say, here's some new things that have come down the pike that you might not be aware of that we want to bring to your attention? I mean, do you reach into them, or is it always them coming into you?
No, we always, and in fact, one of the things we do on an annual basis is we're contacting them and say, okay, it's time to come in, let's talk some more, let's go through this. So we're always seeking information to make sure that we can keep our clientele informed as best as possible.
Okay, and then for you, Ann, do you work always through Storehouse, or will
Yes.
you work directly with the
No,
individual?
I work through Storehouse. They are our customer, and what we do is we keep them informed too, because there's a lot of changes coming down the pike with the new
Right.
tax laws, the new
Right.
estate tax
Right.
laws. But we do webinars, we have regular meetings, we have an advanced markets meeting coming up in Chicago, and I mean, we bring our consultants in, our agents in, like Storehouse, and we're always informing them of new things coming down.
Okay, so you're truly a partnership
Yes,
that
we
can
are.
help work with that business entity.
Yes.
Okay, I'm out of time. Thank you so much. We shared a lot, gave a lot of information.
you.
I
Yes,
appreciate
thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show. For Health Alert, I'm Pam Butler. I'd love to hear your questions, comments, or suggestions for future shows. Please write me at Health Alert USA, P.O. Box 50913, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74150, or if you're on the email trail, please email me at healthalert@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching. That's healthalertusa@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And don't forget, if you're into business, get a checkup. And if you want to start a business, start the checkup. Take care. This program would not be possible without the support of OU Physicians in Tulsa.